let's move on to a separate subject. One is this: a war that's brewing in the East. Will there be war? Well, I say that whether there is a war or not, irrelevant. I think the United States has already won that war, and it didn't have to shoot a single bullet, and it may not even have to in the future. No matter what the Russians do, they lose, and no matter what the Russians do, well, maybe not whatever they do, but Germany is in big trouble. Germany can lose big time because this war is really against Germany. If there is a war, Germany is in trouble, and so is the Russia, not the U.S. The U.S. wins no matter what, either way. So, if Russia advances over the Ukraine, assuming they decide to do that in the next couple of weeks, well, what happens is you have a war on your hands. They're going to feed the Ukrainians weapons to fight that war. Maybe they can't hold off the bear. The bear just takes over Ukraine. But all that they did was essentially conquer territory they used to have. Okay. On the other hand, the United States gains Germany if that happens, because Germany now has no excuse not to fall completely within the orbit of the United States. So Germany right now has commerce with Russia and also has commerce with China, and a lot of that commerce affects the United States, affects the United States' interests, and the United States wants it stopped. Among the things that they want stopped is that what is it? That Nord Stream pipeline that goes from the Russia, the UFSR, the Union of Fewer and Fewer Socialist Republics, because they've lost all that white area between Germany and the Ukraine. They lost Poland, they lost Slovenia, they lost Romania, Bulgaria. They lost all those countries. Okay, they lost a lot of countries that used to belong to the Warsaw Pact, that was under the orbit of the Soviet Union. And when the Soviet Union turned into Russia in 1989, the whole thing began to fall apart. All these socialist republics and colonies, they suddenly became independent countries, and the only couple that are left are Belarus and Ukraine. Okay, so the United States is not losing anything. Without firing a shot, it's already won the war. So the United States is not going to agree to any conditions given by Russia, because it's just smirking and saying, do whatever you have to, we already won. Okay, so I think that's my 5 cents worth on what's going on there. Okay, and so one fellow says the following, I can get it here. Says, war is about power, not profits. Because I said this is all about profits, and I got that from the movie Reds, when this fellow, John, can't remember his name, but he was a real fellow. Okay, he was a newsman. And he went to Russia and he saw what was going on there in the revolution, 1917. He came back and he said, what's the war about? Profits. He said, war is about power, not profits. Profits are also about power. Okay, yeah, there's ways to look at this. I'm saying that the goal is profits. Okay, that's what people have on their minds. You have powerful people, right, rich people, who they see expansion. They see the empire expanding, and it's always been like that. The empire expands, and you have power, but you have profits. You have these rich people. They're not thinking of power in the sense of military power, or like the politicians think, influence and so on. What they want is economics. They're thinking about dollars, and these are people who push for some of these wars because they're going to make money. War makes money for some people always. And so in that sense, it's about profits. People are thinking of how much money am I going to make if there is a war, if we can conquer more territory, if we have more influence in such and such region. And you don't have to really have power in that sense, power in the sense, military sense, or in the, influence from one country on another. That doesn't concern a rich person. I mean, yeah, it's indirectly, it's there. But he's concerned about his money. He wants to make sure that he makes a profit. And so I think the driving force, the underlying driving force, is money. The military, they're pawns. And yeah, you could say it's about power. It's like a circular argument. One thing leads to the other, But I think the driving force is money. And I'll give you an example. Chimps, troops, troops of chimps, they attack other troops. And they go in there and they kill the males, especially the strong ones, the ones that can defend the troop. And they want the gals. They're not stupid. They want the chimp gals, the females. Okay, and that's why they go there. They beat them up, they kill them, right? And they keep the gals. You say, well, that's about power. Yeah, but the driving force is not power. They're not thinking of, oh, I'm going to be powerful. No, they're thinking about the gals. Again, they're not stupid. They want the gals, okay? So, yeah, you could say that the driving force is the gals, and power is what they gain because of their goal, of their ideal, what they have been going through their minds. Okay, another subject, similar, okay? Your opinion, this pro-immigration policy and pro-adoption of foreign children, this forcing into globalism, the new world order, is due to your expected mass extinction of humanity due to the loss of genetic diversity. And he puts a little asterisk there and says, Bill's theory is based on two consequential steps, namely trade no more and loss of human genetic diversity. And no, he's got it wrong. My theory, and I don't know how else to put this forward, how people can get it so wrong, has nothing at all to do with loss of genetic diversity, with genetic diversity at all. Okay, and what it has to do with is something else. Talking about the extinction of humanity, of man, our species, right? We're saying that humans are going to disappear because our economic system cannot grow forever. At some point, it's going to come to a stop. When it does, not if it does, but when it does, then profits will be no more, right? We have no more profits. We have no reason. In other words, the whole system collapses. But what do I mean by collapse? I mean that money is no more. Trade is no more. Okay? You don't trade because the currency we use is called money, something called money. There are different kinds of money out there, okay? And you don't trade anymore. You don't exchange. You don't have the currency. You don't exchange anymore. That's the issue. And what happens? When you don't trade anymore, when you don't exchange anymore, when money is no more, okay, then the companies that produce and distribute food to the masses have no pecuniary reasons to continue doing so. So they don't produce food, they don't distribute food, and partly because they can't pay their workers to do the job because they have nothing to pay them with because money is no more. Okay, so the issue is money is no more because the global economy cannot grow forever. It cannot grow forever in great measure because population does not expand. And that's because of the overturning of the population pyramid, but that's got nothing to do with genetic diversity. The issue with genetic diversity has to do with background extinction, not with mass extinction, first of all. Second, humans will not die because of a background extinction. We will die in a mass extinction. We are the last of the hominins, hominines, whatever you want to call them, okay? We are the last of our kind, okay? We're the last dynasty. And, we have no Neanderthals, no Florensis, no Homo erectus to mate with, okay? We're it. This is it. We can only mate with each other. Because we've been doing that for 200 to 300,000 years without mating with the Neanderthals either, we lost our genetic diversity. That's the situation today. But that's got nothing to do with a mechanism of extinction, of a mass extinction, of the extinction of humans. So don't confuse the theories. Our extinction has nothing at all to do with genetic diversity. And here is a synthesis. Mass extinction, many species. Okay, that's what mass extinction is all about. It's a overturning of the ecological pyramid, and it's caused by overturning of the population pyramid of plants. What is a mass extinction? It's when a food chain disappears completely. That's what it is. Another food chain continues on without any problem. And what is a background extinction? That's where you can bring in your loss of genetic diversity, but primarily it's the overturning of the population pyramid. One's the ecological pyramid, the other one's the population pyramid. And what is it? It's caused by the extensive inbreeding. Okay, founder's effect, population bottlenecks. That's what causes the loss of genetic diversity. Okay, so let's get them right. Background is not a mass extinction. There are two different mechanisms, okay? And just in case, I put the skull and bones there at the bottom. That's the Yale Secret Society, okay? People think that all these Illuminati, New World Order people, skull and bones, whoever, that all these people have control. They will control us, and that they will, have underground tunnels and so on. And so that's my last point here. Let me show that there. Here we have all these rich people, Buffetts and Gates and Elon Musks and so on, all these people. They're digging all these cities underground, They're going to hide there when the shit hits the fan, So they're going to run down there as soon as something happens. And I guess they're going to be pulling the turnips from the bottom, carrots and stuff, radishes. Yeah, so a fellow says the salary will be the food, water, air, health, and safety of being there. They think that some people who work for these fellows will go underground with their families together with them, and that's going to be their payment. That's what these people are suggesting. Another fellow says the payment is a promise that your family will get to survive underground. Why would Gates or Musk or whoever trust these workers if the only reason these people work for them now is for money? Will they do it because they have faith in them? Is it about trust? Is it because they love them? What's the reason? No, anyone who works for these people today works for money. And if they built these cities down there, right, everybody knows about them because whoever built the city already passed the word around. Said, hey, Gates is building a city underground in South Dakota. So we should all know about it. All the reporters have already been there underground. They've seen it. You can't do something in secret if you're going to build something like this, a city underground. Someone's got to know about it. And you're saying their families are going to go down there. Why is Gates going to trust them? Why are these people going to respect Gates after, the whole world falls apart above ground? So that's what you got to tell me. Okay, you got to tell me why anyone would keep quiet. One issue. Why anyone that goes down there with his family would continue being faithful or subservient to Gates or Musk or whoever, and why Gates or Musk or any of these rich folk would trust these people to protect them or do anything for them once the whole world is over, above ground. Food for thought. That the ball is in your court. Okay.